Welcome to Chronological Fiction, where real-world events meet the power of storytelling. We're here to breathe new life into history's most interesting moments by turning them into unique narratives. Join our community by subscribing, and let's explore the stories that shaped our world.
They call it the world. That's what we call America back home. It feels like a different planet now, a place orbiting a different sun. Here there is only the green. It is not just a color. It is a living, breathing entity that wants to consume you. It covers the sky, blotting out the sun. It covers the ground, hiding the snakes and the traps. It grows on your boots, on your bread, on your skin. If you stand still for too long in this jungle, the vines will wrap around your ankles and pull you down into the earth to feed. My name is Elias Thorne. I am 21 years old from a coal mining town in West Virginia. Maybe that's why they picked me. Or maybe it's because I'm 5'5" and weigh 130 pounds soaking wet. In the army, your destiny isn't written by your skills or your bravery, it is written by your size. You fit the hole, Thorne, the sergeant said on the first day, so you go in the hole. It was that simple. Biology is destiny. We are stationed in a fire support base near the Iron Triangle, a stronghold of the Viet Cong. But stronghold implies a castle or a fortress. There are no castles here. There is only jungle. The enemy isn't in front of us. He is everywhere. He is the wind moving the bamboo. He is the silence after the birds stop singing. But mostly he is beneath us. It has been raining for 6 days. The monsoon. It isn't rain like we have back home. It is a vertical river. It falls in sheets so thick you can't see your hand in front of your face. It hammers against your helmet, thrum, thrum, thrum. A never-ending drum solo that drives men mad. The trenches we dug are filled with brown slurry. We sleep in mud, we eat in mud. Our skin is wrinkled and pale, like dead fish. We call it jungle rot. Your feet start to peel. Then the itch starts. A deep burning itch that you can't scratch because it's under the skin. It feels like the jungle is trying to digest you from the outside in. I sit on an ammo crate, trying to keep a letter dry. It's from my sister, Sarah. She talks about the snow in West Virginia. Snow. Clean, white, cold snow. I try to imagine it. I try to summon the feeling of cold air in my lungs. But all I can smell is mildew, cordite, and the sickly sweet scent of rotting vegetation. The air here is heavy. It sits on your chest like a wet wool blanket. You don't breathe it, you drink it. And it tastes of death. Thorne, gear up, Sergeant Miller barks. Miller is a big man, too big for the tunnels. He looks at me with a mixture of pity and relief. He is glad he doesn't have to go where I go. What is it, Sarge? Patrol found a hole. Sector 4. Looks deep. Grab your kit. My stomach drops. It feels like I swallowed a stone. On it, I say. I pack my kit. It is a suicide kit. A .45 caliber pistol with 2 extra magazines, a flashlight with fading batteries, a knife, a piece of chalk to mark the way, and earplugs. Not for the noise, but for the bugs. You don't want a centipede crawling into your ear when you're 50 feet underground. Chapter 2. The Mouth of Hell. The jungle is steamier today. The rain stopped for an hour, and the sun came out, turning the forest into a sauna. Mist rises from the ground, swirling around our legs like ghosts. We hike for 2 hours, hacking through elephant grass that cuts your hands like paper. The point man, a guy named Kowalski, stops and raises a fist. Here, he whispers. We gather around. It's unassuming, just a patch of disturbed earth near the roots of a massive banyan tree. If you didn't know what to look for, you would walk right past it. But Kowalski kicked over a pile of leaves, revealing a trap door. A small wooden square, barely big enough for a child. The mouth of hell, Miller mutters, spitting tobacco juice onto a fern. All right, Thorne, you know the drill. Pop the lid, check for tripwires, go down, see if it's a spider hole or a highway. I take off my pack. I take off my helmet. Helmets are useless down there. They just get snagged on roots. I strip down to my t-shirt. I check my pistol. Ch-ch. Round in the chamber. Safety off. I crawl to the hole. The wood of the trapdoor is damp and rotten. I lift it gently, millimeters at a time, peering underneath for the glint of a wire. Nothing. I flip it open. A blast of air hits me. It smells stagnant, earthy, like an open grave. It is dark down there, a darkness that seems solid. "We'll wait here," Miller says. "You have 20 minutes. If you find a cache, mark it. If you find Charlie, well, handle it." "Handle it," I repeat. I sit on the edge of the hole, my legs dangle into the void. My heart is hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. "Don't think," I tell myself. "Thinking kills you. Just move." I turn on my flashlight. The yellow beam cuts into the gloom. It reveals a vertical shaft, maybe 6 feet deep, with handholds dug into the clay. I take a breath of the fresh, steamy jungle air, my last breath of the world for a while, and I slide down. The earth swallows me. Chapter 3, The Umbilical Cord. The moment my head goes below ground level, the sound of the jungle vanishes. The screaming insects, the distant artillery, the wind, it all cuts off instantly. It is replaced by a silence so profound it rings in my ears. I am in a narrow tunnel now. It is tight. My shoulders brush against the walls. The ceiling is inches from my head. I have to crawl on my hands and knees. The air is cool here, but thin. It feels recycled. It feels like the breath of 1,000 men who crawled here before me. I move forward, crawling. Left hand, right knee, right hand, left knee. The flashlight beam bounces off the walls. The clay is red and sticky. Roots hang down from the ceiling like skeletal fingers, brushing against my face. I flinch every time, thinking they are snakes. Snakes are a real threat. The VC, Viet Cong, tie bamboo vipers to the ceilings with string. When you crawl past, you hit the string. The snake falls and bites you in the neck. One-step snake, they call it. You take one step and you die. I sweep the light across the ceiling. Clear. I am alone, truly alone. The squad is only 20 feet above me, but they might as well be on the moon. There is no radio down here. The earth blocks the signal. I am cut off. This tunnel is what we call an umbilical cord. A connector. It leads from the surface to the main complex. It is narrow to stop big Americans from entering. But I fit. I am the virus entering the bloodstream. I see something ahead. A turn, a sharp left. I stop. I turn off my flashlight. Absolute darkness. I hold my breath. I listen. Drip, drip, drip. Water. Scritch, scritch. Rats. But is there breathing? Is there the rustle of cloth? Is there a man waiting around that corner with an AK-47 pointed at my face? I sit in the dark for a full minute. My eyes try to adjust, but there is nothing to adjust to. It is the absence of light. It is the void. I turn the light back on. Move, I whisper to myself. If you stop, you freeze. I round the corner. Chapter 4, The Scorpion's Sting. The tunnel opens up slightly. I can almost crouch now. I see marks on the walls, scratches. Chalk marks? No, scratches made by fingernails. Someone panicked here. Someone got stuck and clawed at the earth until they died. Or maybe it was just a bored guard. My knee hits something hard. Click. The sound is tiny, like a dry twig snapping. But in the silence, it sounds like a gunshot. I freeze. My blood turns to ice. I look down. A pressure plate, a small wooden board hidden under a layer of loose dirt. I didn't lift my knee. I am still resting my weight on it. If I lift my knee, what happens? Does a grenade explode? Does a punji stake trap swing down? Does the ceiling collapse? Oh God, I breathe. I shine the light around. I trace the mechanism. A thin wire runs from the plate up the wall, disappearing into a hole in the ceiling. It's a spider drop, a box of scorpions or venomous spiders kept in a container above. You trigger it, the trapdoor opens, and they rain down on you in the dark. Panic rises in my throat. It tastes like bile. I want to scream. I want to scramble backward and get out of this grave. But if I move fast, the mechanism trips. Think, Elias. Think. I need to keep pressure on the plate while I move past it. I reach into my webbing. I pull out my heavy K-bar knife. It's not heavy enough. I look around. A rock, a clod of hard clay. I find a loose brick in the wall. I pry it out with my fingers, breaking my nails. It's heavy. Slowly, sweating profusely, I slide the brick next to my knee. I have to do a transfer, slide the brick onto the plate as I slide my knee off. One fluid motion, 1, 2, 3. I slide, the brick settles, the plate creaks, but holds. Nothing falls, no scorpions, no spiders. I collapse against the wall, gasping for air. My hands are shaking so hard, I almost drop the flashlight. I escaped. But the tunnel isn't done with me yet. Chapter 5. The Black City. I should turn back. I've been down here for 15 minutes. I should go back up and tell Miller it's trapped, and we should just blow the entrance. But I see something ahead. The air changes, a draft, a cool breeze hitting my sweaty face. That means a larger space, ventilation. I crawl forward, drawn by curiosity, the cat's fatal flaw. The tunnel ends abruptly, dumping me into a room. I stand up. I can actually stand up. I sweep the light around. It's not just a room, it's a complex. There are sleeping mats made of straw, a table made of ammo crates, a chalkboard with maps drawn on it. There is a smell here, not just earth, the smell of cooking oil, rice, and antiseptic. It's a field hospital, or a barracks. There are tunnels branching off in 3 directions, dark mouths leading deeper into the earth. This isn't a spider hole. This is a city, an underground metropolis beneath our boots. While we walk in the rain above, they are living, sleeping, and planning down here. I walk to the table. There is a half-finished bowl of rice, a cigarette still resting in an ashtray, burnt down to the filter. They were here, recently, maybe 10 minutes ago. They heard me coming. They are watching me. I spin around, pointing my pistol at the shadows. "Come out!" I whisper-shout. Silence, but not total silence. From the middle tunnel I hear it. Music, very faint, tinny and distorted. It's a radio, playing American music. The Doors. People are strange. It's echoing from deep within the earth. Why? Is it a trap? Is it a soldier they captured? Or is it a psychological game? I should go back, but the music pulls me. It's a siren song. I mark a large X on the wall with my chalk, and I step into the middle tunnel, moving toward the music, deeper into the belly of the beast. I follow the music. It defies logic. Jim Morrison's voice, crooning about strange streets and rain, shouldn't exist 70 feet underground in a Viet Cong bunker. It reverberates off the clay walls, distorting into a ghostly wail. People are strange when you're a stranger. I move cautiously, pistol leading the way. The tunnel slopes downward, getting narrower again. The air gets thicker, warmer. It smells of copper now. Old blood. I round a bend and enter a small alcove. The source of the music is sitting on a wooden crate. A battered Sony transistor radio. The green power light is unblinking. It looks mundane, like something you'd see on a porch in Ohio. But it's what is sitting next to the radio that freezes the marrow in my bones. It is a body, or what's left of one. He is wearing American fatigues, rotted and stained black. A tunnel rat patch is barely visible on his shoulder sleeve. He is sitting against the wall, head lolled back, jaw open in a silent scream. His eye sockets are empty, staring up at the roots in the ceiling. The radio is playing next to him like he's just taking a break. I step closer, fighting the urge to vomit. I recognize the unit patch. He's from the 1st Infantry, maybe lost months ago. Why is the radio playing? Batteries don't last months. Someone turned it on. Recently, they set this stage for me. It's a taunt. Look at your future, American. You will die in the dark, listening to your own music. I reach out to turn the radio off. My hand hovers over the dial. Wait. I look at the radio. I look at the dead man's hand resting near it. A thin, almost invisible fishing line runs from the radio to a claymore mine tucked behind the crate. If I had turned the dial, if I had moved the box, boom. The music isn't just a taunt. It's the trigger. I back away slowly. I leave Jim Morrison singing. I leave the dead brother sitting there. I cannot help him. I can only try not to join him. Chapter 7. The Cave-In. I am retreating. I need to get back to the surface. I need Miller. I need the rain, the underground city, the radio, the trap. It's too much for one rat. I scramble back the way I came, passing the X I marked in chalk. Then the earth shudders. It's not a trap I triggered, it's something above. A B-52 strike, An artillery barrage? A rogue mortar? I don't know, but the ground behaves like liquid. The shockwave travels through the soil, compressing the tunnel. Crump. The sound is dull, muffled, like a heavy door slamming shut. Dust explodes from the ceiling, blinding me. I cough, choking on grit. I cover my head with my arms as clods of earth rain down. When the shaking stops, I wave my hand to clear the dust in the beam of my flashlight. I shine the light forward. The tunnel is gone. 10 feet in front of me, a wall of loose earth and shattered roots blocks the path. The umbilical cord to the surface has collapsed. No, I whisper. No, no, no. I crawl forward. I dig frantically with my hands. I pull at the dirt, throwing it behind me. But for every handful I remove, 2 more slide down to take its place. It's loose sand. It's fluid. I stop. I am wasting oxygen. I shine the light backward. The way down, deeper into the complex, is still open. The way out is closed. The realization hits me with the weight of a sledgehammer. I am buried alive. The only way out is not back, but through. I have to find another exit. A ventilation shaft, a river outlet, anything. I turn around to face the dark. The panic is a cold hand squeezing my heart, but I force it down. Panic consumes oxygen, and I have a limited supply. Chapter 8, The Bad Air. I have been moving for an hour since the collapse. Or maybe a day. Time doesn't exist here. There is no sun to mark the passage of hours. There is only the rhythm of my crawling. Scuff, drag, scuff, drag. The air is changing. Tunnel rats call it bad air. It's carbon dioxide buildup, or sometimes carbon monoxide from firing weapons. Or methane from rotting vegetation. It makes you dizzy, it makes your extremities tingle, and it makes you see things. The tunnel walls seem to be breathing. I watch the roots in the ceiling. They writhe like worms, they reach for me. Get off, I swat at a root. It's just wood. I start to hear sounds that aren't there. I hear the school bell from my elementary school in West Virginia. Ding, ding, ding. I hear my mother calling me for dinner. Elias, wash your hands. I can't, Ma, I mutter into the darkness. My hands are full of dirt. I giggle. It's a wet, hysterical sound. Why is that funny? I shake my head. Focus, mole, focus. I check my compass. It's spinning wildly. Magnetic interference, or am I just losing my mind? The heat is oppressive. I am sweating, but I feel cold. I see a shadow move ahead of me, a small dark shape. Is that you, Scamp? I ask. Scamp was my dog when I was 10. I crawl faster. I want to pet the dog. I reach out. My hand touches something cold and wet. It's not a dog, it's a toad, a giant, blind, pale toad living in the dark. It hops away. I sit back on my heels and try to breathe. The air feels like soup, thick, heavy soup. I am drowning in the earth. Chapter 9, The Echo. I stop to drink from my canteen. The water is warm and tastes of iodine tablets. It does nothing to quench the thirst in my soul. Then I hear it. Scrape, scrape. It's coming from ahead. I freeze. I turn off my light. The darkness wraps around me like a shroud. I hold my breath until my lungs burn. Scrape. Clink. Metal on stone. It's not a rat. It's not a toad. It's a man. Is it a VC soldier? Is it a black syphilis ghost? The guys talk about ghosts of the dead VC haunting the tunnels. Then a voice. Help. It's a whisper. Ragged. Broken. And it's in English. Help me. My heart slams against my ribs. Another American, a POW? The guy from the radio room? No, he was dead. Who's there? I whisper back. The sound travels weirdly in the tube. Legs, the voice says. Broken, legs. I turn on the light. I point it down the tunnel. Nothing, just the empty red clay throat of the tunnel. Where are you? I hiss. Down. The voice sounds like it's coming from the walls themselves. Is it real? Or is it the bad air? If I follow it, am I walking into a trap? Or am I abandoning a brother? Keep talking, I say, crawling forward, pistol ready. Guide me in. Dark, the voice whimpers. So dark. I crawl toward the voice. I have to, even if it's a ghost. Because a ghost is better company than this silence. Chapter 10. Fading yellow, my flashlight flickers. It's the most terrifying sight I have ever seen. The steady yellow beam stutters, dims to a brownish orange, then flares bright again. Batteries. They are dying. I have spares. They are in my webbing. But changing batteries in a tunnel is not like changing them in your kitchen. If the light goes out, I am blind. If I drop a battery in the mud, I might never find it. I have to do it now while I still have a faint glow. I sit cross-legged in the narrow space. My hands are slick with sweat and mud. I pull out the spare batteries. They feel heavy, cylindrical. I unscrew the bottom of the flashlight. The spring pops out. Ping. It hits the wall. Shit. I scramble for it. I feel around in the muck. Where is the spring? The flashlight won't work without the tension spring. The current batteries die. Darkness. Absolute, crushing, suffocating darkness. I am blind. I am 70 feet underground, sitting in mud, holding 2 batteries and a dead metal tube. Panic rises like bile. I start to hyperventilate. Calm down. You are a coal miner's son. You know the dark. I close my eyes. It makes no difference, but it helps me focus. I feel the ground. I sweep my hands in arcs. Mud, rock, root, metal. I find the spring. Thank you, God, I whisper. I slide the new batteries in. I jam the spring back. I screw the cap on. I push the switch. Nothing. My heart stops. I shake it. I hit it against my palm. Come on, you piece of junk. I hit it against the wall. Thwack. A beam of pure white light cuts through the dark. It's beautiful. It's holy. I hug the flashlight to my chest. I almost cry. But in the new bright beam, I see what I didn't see before. 10 feet in front of me, the tunnel widens into a chamber. And standing in the middle of the chamber, looking directly at me, is a man. He is Vietnamese. He is shirtless. He is holding a knife. And he is smiling. In the tunnels, a gun is a last resort. If I pull the trigger of my .45 in this enclosed space, 3 things happen. 1, the muzzle flash blinds me instantly. 2, the concussion ruptures my eardrums, leaving me deaf in the dark. 3, the shockwave could collapse the unstable ceiling, burying us both. The man standing across from me knows this. That is why he is holding a knife. It is a rusty blade, jagged and cruel. He is skinny, his ribs showing through his skin, but his muscles are coiled like wire. He doesn't look scared. He looks desperate. He is a rat, just like me, fighting for his corner of the hole. He lunges, he moves fast, a blur of motion in the flashlight beam. I don't have time to aim the pistol. I instinctively raise my arm to block. Slash. The blade cuts through my sleeve and bites into my forearm. It burns like a wasp sting. I drop the flashlight. It rolls across the floor, spinning, creating a strobe effect. Light, dark, light, dark. In the flashes, I see him coming again. I tackle him. We hit the dirt floor hard. The air leaves my lungs. We are rolling in the mud. It is intimate. It is hateful. I can smell his breath, rotten fish and garlic. I can feel the sweat on his slippery skin. He is trying to bring the knife down into my neck. I am holding his wrist with both hands, straining, my muscles screaming. He is stronger than he looks. He grunts, pushing the blade closer. I see the rust on the metal. I see the intent in his eyes. I headbutt him. Crack. My forehead hits his nose. Cartilage breaks. He cries out, his grip loosening for a fraction of a second. That is all I need. I let go of his wrist and grab my own knife, the heavy K-bar on my belt. I don't think. I don't hesitate. I am not Elias Thorne from West Virginia anymore. I am an animal. I drive the knife upward under his ribs. He stiffens. He makes a sound like a deflating tire. His weight settles on me, heavy, dead weight. I push him off. I scramble backward, crab walking away from the body, gasping for air. I grab the flashlight. I shine it on him. He is lying still. His eyes are open, staring at the ceiling. I look at my arm. Blood is dripping onto the clay floor. You or me, I whisper, shaking. It was you or me. Chapter 12. The prisoner. I sit there for a minute, wrapping a dirty rag around my arm to stop the bleeding. The adrenaline is fading, leaving me cold and nauseous. Then I hear it again. Help. The voice. The echo I heard in the tunnel. It wasn't a ghost. It wasn't the bad air. I stand up, my legs wobbly. I shine the light past the dead Viet Cong soldier. At the back of the chamber, there is a bamboo cage. It is small, barely 3 feet high. A tiger cage. Inside, there is a pile of rags. The pile moves. I rush over. I tear at the bamboo door. It is tied with rope. I saw it open with my knife. "I've got you," I whisper. "I'm American. I've got you." I shine the light inside. The man is skeletal. His skin is translucent, stretched tight over his bones. He has a beard that is matted with filth. His legs are bent at unnatural angles, broken, left to heal wrong. He squints at the light, shielding his eyes with a hand that looks like a bird's claw. "Angel?" he croaks. "No, I'm Elias. I'm a mole." I check his dog tags. SGT Baker. "Baker," I say. "You're with the 25th Infantry. You went missing 2 weeks ago." He laughs, a dry, rattling sound. 2 weeks? No, I've been here years. Time doesn't exist in the dark. "Can you move?" I ask. He shakes his head. "Legs are dead. Gangrene. I can smell it." I look down. He is right. The smell is sweet and horrific. His legs are black. "I'm getting you out," I lie. I know I can't. I can barely get myself out. I can't drag a man with broken legs through a collapsed tunnel system. "No," Baker whispers. He reaches out and grabs my wrist. His grip is surprisingly strong. "Don't lie to me, kid. I'm dead. I've been dead." He looks at my pistol. "Do me a favor," he says. "The big favor." I freeze. "No, I can't. Please," he begs. Tears cut tracks through the dirt on his face. "Don't leave me in the dark again. Don't let the rats finish me. Just turn off the light and do it." Chapter 13. The meal. I didn't do it. I couldn't. I left him the pistol. I put it in his hand. "1 round," I told him. "Make it count." I walked away. I went back to the main chamber. I haven't heard the shot yet. Maybe he is waiting. Maybe he wants to hold on to hope for a few more minutes. Or maybe he just wants to feel the weight of power in his hand one last time. I turn my attention to survival. I am starving. My stomach is eating itself. I search the dead Viet Cong soldier. I feel no guilt. He tried to kill me. Now he feeds me. That is the law of the jungle. I find a pouch on his belt. Inside there are balls of sticky rice wrapped in banana leaves. They are cold and hard. I sniff them. They smell okay. I eat them ravenously. I shove the rice into my mouth with dirty, bloody hands. It tastes like clay and sweat, but my body rejoices. I find his canteen. It is full of tea, cold, bitter green tea. I drink it all. I feel the energy returning. I feel the predator waking up again. I search the room. I find a stack of papers. Propaganda leaflets. "GIs, go home. Your government lies to you." I laugh. They don't need to tell me that. I find a box of candles. Good. Batteries are precious. Candles are reliable. I light one. The flame flickers, casting long, dancing shadows. It saves my flashlight. I sit next to the dead man, eating his rice, drinking his tea, reading his propaganda. We are just 2 soldiers in a hole, one lucky, one unlucky. And then, bang, a single muffled shot from the back of the cave. Baker didn't wait long. I close my eyes. Rest easy, Sarge. I am alone again. Chapter 14. The map. I need to leave. The smell of death in this chamber is getting stronger. But where do I go? The tunnel I came from is collapsed. The tunnel ahead is unknown. I look at the walls. The VC soldier was guarding something. This wasn't just a barracks, it was a command post. I shine my light on the far wall. There is a large piece of paper pinned to the clay roots. It is a map, a schematic of the tunnel system. It is incredibly complex. A labyrinth. There are 3 levels. I am on level 2. I trace the lines with my finger. Here is the entrance, marked with a red star. Collapsed. Here is the chamber I am in, and here is the exit. It leads to the Saigon River, but there is a symbol between me and the river, a blue squiggle, and the word Nuuk. I don't speak Vietnamese. But I know what Nuuk means. Water, a siphon, a U-trap. To stop gas grenades from spreading through the tunnels, they dig sections that dip down, fill with water, and come back up, like the trap under a kitchen sink. To get out, I have to swim through it, in the dark. Underwater, in a narrow tube, not knowing how long it is. I look at the map again. There is no other way. Level 3 is below me, hospital storage. Level 1 is above, collapsed. The river exit is my only chance. I tear the map off the wall and fold it into my pocket. I look at the dead soldier one last time. Thanks for the map, I whisper. I blow out the candle, turn on my flashlight, and step into the tunnel leading to the water. Chapter 15. The descent. The tunnel slopes downward steeply. The air gets cooler. The humidity rises to 100%. The walls are slick with slime. The smell changes. It stops smelling like dry earth and starts smelling like a swamp. Stagnant, rotting water. My boots squelch in the mud. I am descending into the bowels of the earth. I reach the siphon. The tunnel simply disappears into a pool of black water. It is like looking into an inkwell. The water is still, oily. I shine my light into it. The beam penetrates maybe 6 inches before being swallowed by the murk. How long is the underwater section? 10 feet, 30 feet. If I get stuck, I drown. If I panic, I drown. If there is a trap underwater, I drown. I have to strip down. My gear will drag me down. I take off my boots. I tie them around my neck. I take off my webbing. I keep only the flashlight held in my mouth, the knife, and the map in a plastic bag. I stand at the edge of the black water. I am shivering, not from cold but from pure primal terror. I hate water. I hate the dark. And now I have to combine them. I think of the snow in West Virginia. I think of the white, clean cold. Just a swim, Elias, I say, my voice trembling. Just a quick dip. I take a deep breath, filling my lungs until they hurt. I crouch down. The water is freezing. I lower my head, and I push off into the black liquid silence. The water is not like water. It does not feel like the clean, cold substance that flows in the creeks of West Virginia. It feels like oil. It feels like blood. As I push off into the black pool, the liquid closes over my head with a suffocating weight. The silence is instantaneous and absolute. The only sound is the roar of my own pulse hammering in my ears, thud, thud, thud, like a trapped bird beating its wings against a cage. I keep my eyes open, though it stings. The flashlight, clamped tightly between my teeth, casts a frantic, milky beam through the murk. It illuminates nothing but swirling sediment and particles of filth. I am swimming blind in a sewer. I pull myself forward, my hands clawing at the muddy bottom of the tunnel. The clay is slick, offering no purchase. I am effectively weightless, suspended in a void of liquid darkness. The tunnel dips sharply. This is the U-trap. I have to go down. To go up. My ears pop as the pressure increases. The cold is agonizing. It feels like 1,000 needles piercing my skin, seeking the warmth of my core. I count the seconds in my head to keep the panic at bay. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. 3. By 10 seconds, my lungs begin to burn. It is a dull ache at first, spreading outward from my chest. By 20 seconds, the ache turns into fire. My diaphragm spasms, begging for air. The reptile brain screams, breathe. Psha. Breathe now. But if I breathe, I die. I swallow the urge, forcing my body to obey. Then disaster strikes. My webbing belts, which I had tied around my waist to drag behind me, snag on something. A root, a rock, a submerged corpse. I am jerked to a halt. The momentum stops. I am tethered to the bottom of the siphon. Panic explodes in my mind. It is white-hot and blinding. I thrash in the water, twisting around to free myself. The beam of the flashlight wildly swings, illuminating a cloud of bubbles escaping from my nose. Precious air, lost forever. I reach back blindly. My fingers brush against a thick, slimy root protruding from the wall. It has hooked my belt loop. I tug at it. It holds fast. My vision begins to grey at the edges. The carbon dioxide buildup is poisoning me. The fire in my lungs is now an inferno. I am going to drown here. I am going to float in this black soup until I rot. No. I grab the knife from my belt. The movement is sluggish. The water resists me. I slash at the belt loop, once, twice. The nylon is tough. My chest is convulsing now. My mouth involuntarily opens to gasp, and a trickle of foul water enters my throat. I gag, clamping my mouth shut. One last slash. Snap. The tension releases. I am free. I kick upward, desperate, clawing at the water. Where is up? Gravity feels wrong. The tunnel curves. I follow the curve. Please let there be air, please. My head breaks the surface. I gasp, sucking in a ragged breath. It sounds like a sob. The air is stale and smells of mold, but it is oxygen. I cough, retching up the water I swallowed, clinging to the muddy bank of the tunnel. I lay there, half in and half out of the water, shaking violently as the adrenaline crashes. I am alive, but I am wet, cold, and deeper in the earth than I have ever been. Chapter 17. The Bloodletting. I drag myself out of the siphon, sliding on my belly like a primordial creature emerging from the swamp. The tunnel floor here is different. It is not packed clay, but a slurry of mud and animal waste. I collapse onto my back, staring up at the darkness, my flashlight beam pointing aimlessly at a dripping root on the ceiling. I am shivering uncontrollably. Hypothermia is setting in. Even in the heat of the jungle, the underground water has sapped my body heat. I need to dry off. I need to move. But first, I feel an itch. It starts on my calf, a persistent stinging tickle. Then I feel another on my stomach, and another on my neck. I sit up, shining the light on my legs. I stifle a scream. They are black, glistening, and fat with my blood. Leeches. They cover my legs like a living stocking. There must be 20 of them. They were waiting in the siphon, sensing the vibrations of my swim, and they latched on while I was struggling with the root. I feel a wave of revulsion so strong it nearly knocks me over. It is a primal disgust. I am being eaten alive. I scramble for my lighter. No, the lighter is wet. It won't work. I have to use salt. I have no salt. I have to use the knife. No, I'll slice my own arteries. I have to pull them off. I grab the first one, a thumb-sized monster on my thigh. It is slippery, covered in mucus. I squeeze and pull. It stretches, refusing to let go. Its teeth are buried deep in my flesh. With a sickening pop, it comes free. Blood streams from the wound, mixing with the mud on my skin. Leeches inject an anticoagulant. The bleeding won't stop for hours. I work methodically, fighting the urge to panic. I pull them off one by one. Pop, pop, pop. I throw them against the wall, smashing them with my boot in a fit of rage. One is attached to my neck, right over the jugular. I grip it carefully. If I squeeze too hard, it will vomit bacteria into my blood. I pinch the head and peel it back. It tears away a chunk of skin. Warm blood trickles down my chest. I am a mess of mud and blood. I look like a monster. I check my groin. Clear. Thank God. I check my ears. I feel something wet in my left ear. I dig my pinky finger in. I feel a tail. Oh God, I whimper. Get out, get out. I tilt my head and shake it violently. I dig deeper. I grab the slippery tail and pull. It slides out, a small, thin leech. I crush it between my fingers. I sit there for a long time, bleeding from 20 different wounds, shivering in the dark. I am losing fluids. I am losing heat. I am losing my mind. The jungle doesn't just want to kill you. It wants to degrade you first. Chapter 18. The Wrong Turn. I have to keep moving. If I stay here, I will bleed out or freeze. I consult the map, the soggy piece of paper I rescued from the command post. The ink has run. The blue lines are blurred. The red X for the exit is a smear. I squint at it in the failing light. Okay, Elias, I whisper. My voice sounds raspy, foreign. Through the siphon, then take the left fork. Left fork leads to the river outlet. I stand up, my knees shaking. I gather my meager gear, flashlight, knife, pistol, soaked, probably jammed. I move forward. The tunnel widens. I come to a fork, left or right. On the map, the left fork looked straight. Here, the left fork dips down. The right fork goes up. Logic says the river is up. Rivers are on the surface. But the map, I remember the map saying left. I hesitate. My brain is foggy from the bad air and the blood loss. I can't trust my instincts. Follow the map, I mutter. Always follow the map. I take the left fork. It is a mistake. I realize it after 10 minutes. The tunnel is not going up. It is spiraling down. The air is getting heavier, thicker. The smell is changing again. It no longer smells of swamp water. It smells of chemicals, sharp, stinging chemicals. Formaldehyde, ether, and underneath that, the sweet, cloying scent of rotting meat. I stop. I shine the light ahead. The walls are lined with bricks here. This is old construction, maybe French colonial era. I have gone deeper. I have entered level 3. The map was wrong, or I read it wrong. Level 3 is the deepest part of the complex, the part they don't want anyone to find. I turn around to go back, but I hear voices behind me, coming from the fork, Vietnamese voices, loud, angry. They found the siphon. They are coming through. I can't go back. I am trapped. The only way is deeper into the chemical smell. I switch off my light for a second to hide, then realize I can't navigate in the dark. I turn it back on, shielding the beam with my hand, and creep forward into the unknown horrors of Level 3. Chapter 19. The Butcher's Shop. The tunnel opens into a large rectangular chamber. The floor is tiled, cracked, filthy white tiles that look shockingly out of place deep underground. I step inside, my boots crunching on broken glass. I sweep the flashlight around. It is a hospital, but that word implies healing. This is a place of butchery. Rusty iron gurneys line the walls. The mattresses are stained black with old blood. There are IV stands knocked over, glass bottles shattered on the floor. On a metal tray, I see surgical instruments, bone saws, scalpels, clamps. They are covered in rust and dried gore, but it's the shelves that make me gag. Along the back wall, there are rows of glass jars. Inside the jars, floating in murky yellow liquid, are things. I step closer, compelled by a morbid curiosity. The first jar contains a human heart. It is grey and shriveled. The second jar contains a fetus, malformed. The third jar, I recoil. The third jar contains a human hand. But it's not a Vietnamese hand. It's large, hairy. There is a tattoo on the wrist. An anchor. A marine, I whisper. They were keeping trophies, or studying them, or I don't want to know. I hear a dripping sound. Plip, plop. I follow the sound to the center of the room. There is an operating table. Lying on it is a shape covered by a bloody sheet. Is it a body? Is it sleeping? I approach it, pistol raised. Don't move, I whisper. I reach out with the tip of my knife and lift the sheet. It is a mannequin, a wooden store mannequin, missing its legs. But someone has dressed it in a US Army uniform. They have painted a face on it, a screaming American face, and pinned to its chest is a note in English. Welcome to hell, GI. It's a psychological trap, a joke. I start to laugh. I can't help it. The laughter bubbles up from my chest, hysterical and jagged. Welcome to hell, I giggle. I've been here all day. I lean against the operating table, laughing until I cry. I am losing it. The green rot has reached my brain. Chapter 20. The hallucination. I leave the hospital. I can't stay with the jars and the mannequin. I enter a new tunnel. It is unreinforced clay again. The air here is terrible. I am dizzy. My vision is tunneling. I start to see traces in the dark, little sparks of light that aren't there. Elias. A voice, soft, gentle. Sarah? I ask. My sister is standing in front of me. She is wearing her Sunday dress. She is clean. She is holding a plate of cookies. You look tired, Elias, she says. Come home. It's snowing. I can't, Sarah, I say, leaning against the wall. I'm in the hole. There is no hole, she smiles. It's all in your head. Just wake up. She reaches out to touch my face. I lean into her touch, but her hand is cold and rough. I blink. Sarah is gone. I am pressing my face against a tree root protruding from the wall. Get it together, mole. I slap my own face, hard. The pain sharpens my focus for a second, but the shadows are moving. The roots on the ceiling are turning into snakes. Great green anacondas writhing in the gloom. I raise my pistol. Back! I scream at the roots. Stay back! I almost pull the trigger. If I shoot, the muzzle flash will ignite the methane in this tunnel. I will incinerate myself. I lower the gun. It's not real, I chant. It's not real. It's the bad air. I stumble forward. My boot catches on something. I fall, hard. I land on something soft. I shine the light down. It is a body, a Viet Cong soldier. But he has been dead for a long time. He is mummified, and he is holding something. Not a gun. A shovel. He was digging. He was trying to get out. He died digging. I look at the wall he was digging at. There is a small hole. A tiny stream of fresh air is coming through. Fresh air, real air. The hallucination clears. Sarah is gone. The snakes are gone. There is only the shovel, the dead man, and the tiny draft of hope. I grab the shovel from the corpse's hands. Move over, buddy, I say. It's my turn to dig. I dig. I dig with the desperation of a man digging his own grave in reverse. The shovel blade, rusted and dull, scrapes against the clay. Scrape, toss, scrape, toss. My muscles burn, my wounded arm throbs with a dull, rhythmic ache, but I ignore it. The draft of air is my fuel. It smells sweet, like rain and wet leaves. It smells like life. After an hour of back-breaking labor, the hole is big enough for my head and shoulders. I push myself upward, squirming through the loose soil. I can feel the space opening up above me. I shine the flashlight up. My heart soars. I see the night sky. I see a single beautiful star twinkling through a canopy of leaves. Yes, I weep. Yes, I push harder, reaching up to pull myself out. Clang. My hand hits something hard, cold metal. I shine the light directly above me. Bars, thick, rusted iron bars set into a concrete frame. It is a ventilation shaft, not an exit. It was designed to let air in, but keep people and grenades out. I grab the bars, I shake them, I scream, "Let me out! Let me out!" They don't budge. They are set deep in the jungle floor. I am 6 inches away from freedom. I can smell the rain. I can see the star, but I am still in the cage. I collapse back into the dirt, sobbing. To see the sky and not be able to touch it is a torture worse than the dark. The star mocks me. It is indifferent. Chapter 22. The monsoon returns. I lie under the grate for a long time, letting the rain fall on my face. It is a meager blessing. I open my mouth and catch the drops. It is the best water I have ever tasted. But the blessing turns into a curse. The rain intensifies. The monsoon is raging above. The water doesn't just drip, it begins to pour. It runs down the sides of the shaft, turning the clay beneath me into mud. Then I hear a sound from below. Deep in the complex, raw, a low, rushing sound like a subway train approaching. The tunnels are flooding. The Viet Cong designed these tunnels with drainage, but in a heavy monsoon, the lower levels fill up. I am deep. If I stay here, under the grate, the water will rise and pin me against the bars. I will drown looking at the stars. I have to move. I have to go back down into the labyrinth and find high ground. I slide back down the hole I dug. The main tunnel is already slick with water. A stream of brown sludge is flowing past my boots, moving deeper. I have to move against the current. Upstream, I consult the soggy mental map in my head. The hospital was level 3. The siphon was level 2. I need level 1. The command centers, the barracks. I splash through the mud, fighting the rising tide. The water is freezing. It swirls around my ankles, then my knees. The green rot is hungry. It wants to wash me away. Chapter 23. The Silent Armory. I scramble up a steep incline, my boots sliding on the wet clay. I am gasping for air, my lungs burning. I reach a dry section. The air here is stale, smelling of grease and sulfur. I shine my light around. Wooden crates are stacked floor to ceiling. I pry one open with my knife. Mortar shells, rows of cold steel eggs. Another crate, AK-47 ammunition. Another, blocks of C4 explosive and sticks of dynamite that look old and sweaty. Sweating dynamite releases nitroglycerin. It is incredibly unstable. I am in an armory. If a stray bullet hits this room, or if I drop my flashlight, the explosion would be big enough to reshape the landscape above. I move carefully, like I am walking on eggshells. I see a weapon on a table, a Makarov pistol. I check my 45. It is caked in mud, probably jammed. I holster it and pick up the Makarov. It feels small in my hand, but the action is smooth. I check the mag. Full. I take 2 extra clips. I also take a grenade, a stick grenade with a pull cord, German style or Chinese copy. I feel safer. I have teeth again. But as I turn to leave, I freeze. On the dusty floor of the armory, amidst the boot prints of the VC, there is a set of footprints. Bare feet, small, wide, and they are wet. Someone else came out of the water. Someone else is here. And the prints are fresh. The water hasn't dried yet. Chapter 24, The Tracker. I am being hunted. I know it in my gut. The man I killed in the knife fight wasn't alone. Or maybe this is someone else. A guardian. I leave the armory, moving silently. I don't use the flashlight anymore unless I have to. I cup the lens, letting only a sliver of light escape. I stop at every corner. I listen. The tunnel amplifies sound. Drip. Drip. And then, breathing. Soft, controlled breathing. It stops when I stop. He is listening to me, just as I am listening to him. He knows the tunnels. He doesn't need a light. He is a creature of the dark. I am an intruder with a dying battery. I decide to set a trap. I enter a narrow section of the tunnel. I stop. I take a loose rock and throw it further down the tunnel. Clatter. I press myself into a small alcove, pistol raised, heart hammering. I wait. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Nothing. He didn't take the bait. He is too smart. He knows I am waiting. Show yourself, I whisper into the dark. My voice sounds thin, pathetic. No answer, just a low, scratching sound, like fingernails on clay. He is mocking me. He is herding me. He is driving me somewhere. But where? Chapter 25. The Birth Canal. I run. I can't take the stalking anymore. I abandon stealth and scramble forward. The tunnel gets smaller, tighter. It becomes a wormhole. A section designed to be barely passable. I have to lay flat on my stomach. I have to push with my toes and pull with my elbows. The walls press against my ribs. I can't expand my chest to take a full breath. Panic sets in. What if I get stuck? What if the tunnel tapers off to nothing? I push forward. My equipment belt catches. I am wedged. I kick. I struggle. I am stuck. I can't go forward. I can't go back. The earth is holding me tight, like a fist. I start to hyperventilate. The walls are closing in. I can feel the weight of the tons of dirt above me. Calm down, I sob. Calm down. I exhale. I blow all the air out of my lungs, making my chest as small as possible. I push. I slide an inch. I inhale. The walls squeeze me. I exhale. Push. Another inch. It takes me 20 minutes to move 10 feet. My uniform is torn. My skin is raw. Finally, I pop out of the wormhole. I tumble into a larger space. I roll onto my back, gasping, staring up. I shine the light. I am not in a room. I am in a vertical shaft. And looking down at me from the top of the shaft, 20 feet up, is a pair of eyes, reflecting the light like a cat. The tracker. He has been waiting for me. He drops something down the shaft. It's not a grenade. It's a snake, a bamboo viper, bright green and angry. It lands on my chest. Harika. Hikayenin temposunu ve derinliğini arttırmak için paragrafları genişletiyorum. Elias'ın yaşadığı dehşeti, yılan ısırığının yarattığı paniği ve yer altındaki o son düelloyu okuyucunun dinleyicinin nefesini kesecek detaylarla işliyoruz. İşte bölüm 26'dan 30'a kadar olan kısım. Part 6, The Poisoned Ascent. Chapter 26, The Kiss of the Viper. The snake is a ribbon of neon green death, vibrating with kinetic energy on my heaving chest. It is a bamboo viper, Tremorosaurus albolabris, a creature designed by evolution to be the perfect ambush predator of the canopy, now misplaced in the dark bowels of the earth. I freeze every muscle in my body, locking my joints, terrified that even the rhythmic thumping of my heart against my ribs will provoke a strike. The snake's head is triangular and angular, swaying hypnotically from side to side as it tastes the air with a black flickering tongue, sensing the heat radiating from my skin. Above me, framed in the circle of the vertical shaft, the tracker's silhouette remains motionless, a dark god looking down at his sacrifice, waiting for nature to do his dirty work. He doesn't drop a grenade, he doesn't shoot. He wants me to suffer, he wants the jungle itself to execute me. Time elongates into an agonizing eternity. The damp clay beneath me soaks into my torn uniform, chilling my spine, while sweat stings my eyes, blurring my vision. The snake coils tighter, its cold, dry scales sliding across my neck, seeking warmth. It is heavy, muscular, a living noose. I know that if I reach for my pistol, it will strike faster than my neurons can fire the command to my hand. I have to wait. I have to be a stone. But the human body is not meant to be stone. My lungs scream for air, my diaphragm spasms, and a single treacherous tremor runs through my shoulder. That tiny movement is enough. The green blur lunges. I don't feel the bite at first. I only see the flash of white mouth and curved fangs burying themselves into the meat of my left shoulder just above the collarbone. The impact is solid, like a punch. I scream, a guttural, involuntary sound that echoes up the shaft, and I thrash wildly, grabbing the snake behind its head and ripping it from my flesh. I throw it against the far wall, where it writhes in the mud, confused and angry. But the damage is done. A burning sensation, liquid fire, begins to spread from my shoulder, radiating down my arm and up into my neck. It feels as if someone has injected boiling acid into my veins. Above me, I hear a sound that makes my blood run cold. The tracker is laughing, a soft, dry chuckle. Then a rope drops down the shaft. He is coming down to finish what the snake started. Chapter 27, The Mud Duel. The rope dangles in the center of the shaft, a lifeline that is actually a hangman's noose. The tracker descends with practiced ease, sliding down the braided hemp like a spider lowering itself on a web. He thinks I am incapacitated. He thinks the venom has already paralyzed me, leaving me helpless and writhing in the dirt. He is arrogant. He doesn't know that adrenaline is a powerful antidote, at least for a few minutes. I feign weakness, curling into a ball, clutching my burning shoulder, whimpering theatrically while my right hand slides silently under the mud, gripping the handle of the Makarov pistol I stole from the armory. I am not a soldier anymore. I am a trap waiting to be sprung. He lands softly, his bare feet making a wet slap on the clay floor. He is small, wiry, wearing only black shorts and a headband. He holds a knife, a curved, nasty blade that looks like it has gutted 100 men. He steps toward me, confident, casual. He wants to see the fear in my eyes. He wants to look at the American rat dying in his trap. When he is 3 feet away, I unleash all my remaining fury. I roll onto my back, raising the mud-caked pistol. His eyes widen, a flash of pure, terrified realization, and he lunges. I pull the trigger. Click. A misfire. The mud has jammed the mechanism. There is no time to clear the jam. He is on me. We collide in a tangle of limbs, sweat, and hate. His knife slashes down, missing my throat by an inch and burying itself in the dirt next to my ear. I grab his wrist with my good hand, but my left arm, the bitten one, is useless, hanging like dead weight. He is stronger than me, fueled by the fanaticism of defending his home. I am fueled only by the desperate, clawing need to survive. I headbutt him, smashing my forehead into his nose, feeling cartilage crunch. He howls, blinded by tears, and I roll him over, pressing his face into the deep, suffocating mud. I hold him there, I use my body weight, pressing down on the back of his head while he thrashes and bucks like a wild horse. The mud fills his mouth, his nose, his lungs. It takes a long time, too long. The thrashing slows, then turns to twitching, and finally stillness. I roll off him, gasping, staring at his mud mask face. I have killed the hunter, but the venom in my veins is now singing a song of death, and the walls are beginning to spin. Chapter 28. The green fever. The poison moves fast. My left arm has swollen to twice its normal size, the skin tight and shiny, turning a bruised, angry purple. The pain is no longer a burn, it is a throbbing, rhythmic sledgehammer that shatters my thoughts every time my heart beats. I stumble away from the dead tracker, falling against the wall of the shaft. The bad air of the tunnel mixes with the neurotoxins in my blood to create a kaleidoscope of hallucinations. The clay walls seem to breathe, expanding and contracting like the ribcage of a giant beast that has swallowed me whole. I look at my hand and see moss growing on my knuckles. I see vines sprouting from my fingernails. The green rot is real. It is taking me. I try to stand, but my legs are rubber. I collapse, and suddenly I am not in Vietnam. I am back in the coal mines of West Virginia. My father is there, his face covered in coal dust, holding a canary cage. "The bird is dead, Elias," he says, his voice echoing. "The air is bad. You stayed down too long." I try to tell him I'm sorry, but when I open my mouth, only mud comes out. Then the scene shifts. I see the face of the tracker I just killed. He is standing over me, offering me a bowl of rice, but the rice is made of maggots. I scream and bat the bowl away, hitting my hand against the cold, hard reality of the tunnel wall. The fever spikes. I am freezing cold, shaking so violently my teeth chatter, yet sweat is pouring off me in rivulets. I need to get out. The urge is primal, overriding the pain. If I die here, I become part of the tunnel. I become just another skeleton for the next rat to find. I look up the shaft. The rope the tracker used is still hanging there. It sways gently in the draft from above. It looks like a stairway to heaven, or a rope to hang myself with. I have to climb. With one good arm and a body filled with poison, I have to climb out of hell. Chapter 29. Jacob's Ladder. I grab the rope. The hemp is rough, biting into my palms. My left arm is useless, a dead weight of agony hanging at my side. I have to climb using only my right arm and my legs. I jump and grab the rope as high as I can, wrapping my legs around it in a lock. I pull. Ideally, I would pull myself up, reach higher and repeat, but I have no strength. I haul myself up 6 inches, gasping, grunting with effort. The pain in my shoulder flares white-hot with every movement, sending sparks across my vision. The shaft is 20 feet high. It might as well be 20 miles. I look at the wall of the shaft. Roots protrude from the dirt like the rungs of a twisted ladder. I use them. I hook my boot onto a root, push, and slide my hand up the rope. The root snaps. I slide down 2 feet, burning the skin off my palm. I scream, a raw animal sound that is swallowed by the earth. I dangle there, sobbing, swinging in the dark. I want to let go. It would be so easy to let go, to fall back down to the mud, to lie next to the tracker and sleep forever. "Climb, you son of a bitch," I whisper to myself. Climb or die. I find a new rhythm. Kick, lock, pull, kick, lock, pull. I am a worm inches from the apple's surface. I focus on the square of night sky above me. It is grey now. Dawn is coming. If I don't get out before the sun rises, I will be caught. I force my body to move past the point of failure. My muscles tear, my fingernails break. I am leaving pieces of myself on this rope. Finally, my hand touches the lip of the shaft. I hook my elbow over the edge. I drag my broken body up and over, collapsing onto the wet, leaf-covered ground of the jungle floor. I am out. I am on the surface. But as I roll onto my back, staring up at the canopy, I realize the silence is wrong. Chapter 30. The belly of the dragon. I expected the jungle to be empty. I expected to crawl into the bushes and hide until a patrol found me, but fate has a cruel sense of humor. As my vision clears and the fog of the fever recedes slightly, I realize where I have surfaced. I am not in the wild jungle. I have popped out of a spider hole right in the middle of a North Vietnamese Army, NVA base camp. The grey light of dawn reveals a terrifying scene. Less than 50 feet away, men in khaki uniforms are moving. I see hammocks strung between trees. I see a cooking fire smoking gently with a pot of rice boiling over it. I see stacks of crates covered in tarps. I am a ghost who has walked into a town meeting. They haven't seen me yet because I am low to the ground, covered in mud that matches the earth perfectly. I look like a mound of dirt. But I am exposed. If one of them walks this way to relieve himself or to check the perimeter, I am dead. I cannot move. My body has shut down. The venom has won. I lie there, paralyzed, watching the enemy wake up. I see them stretching, smoking cigarettes, cleaning their AK-47s. They look so human, not monsters, just men waking up to fight another day. The smell of the wood smoke drifts over me. It smells like autumn in West Virginia. It is a comforting smell in a place of death. I close my eyes, clutching the stolen Makarov pistol under my chest. I am a tick on the back of a dragon, hoping it doesn't scratch. I have escaped the tomb, only to find myself in the slaughterhouse. I have to wait for nightfall. I have to lie here, in the middle of their camp, baking in the sun, freezing in the rain, invisible and dying, for 12 more hours. The sun is a hammer. It beats down on the jungle canopy, filtering through the leaves to strike the earth where I lie. The mud that covers me, my only camouflage, begins to dry. It cracks and tightens on my skin like a clay mask, itching maddeningly. I am thirsty, a thirst so profound it feels like my throat is filled with broken glass. But I cannot move. I cannot reach for the canteen on my belt. I am a statue in a garden of killers. Hours bleed into one another. The NVA camp is a hive of activity. I watch them through half-closed eyelids, my eyelashes crusted with dirt. I see them cleaning weapons. I see them writing letters. I see a young soldier, no older than 18, playing a harmonica. The melody is hauntingly sweet, drifting over my head. It is surreal to realize that the monsters we fear in the dark are just boys who miss their mothers. But empathy is a luxury I cannot afford. If that boy sees me, he will put a bullet in my head without hesitation. Around noon, a soldier walks toward me. He stops 5 feet away. I can see the wear on his sandals. I can smell the tobacco smoke clinging to his uniform. He unbuttons his trousers to relieve himself. The stream splashes onto the leaves inches from my face. I hold my breath. My lungs burn. My heart hammers against the ground so hard I fear the vibration will alert him. He finishes, shakes himself, and buttons up. He looks directly at the mound of mud that is me. For a second, our eyes almost meet. I grip the handle of the Makarov under my chest, ready to die fighting. But he looks past me, at a bird in the trees. He yawns, turns, and walks away. I let out a breath that is more sob than air. I am invisible. But invisibility is a torture all its own. Chapter 32. The Extraction. Nightfall brings no relief from the heat, but it brings the cover of darkness. The camp settles down. Cooking fires die out to glowing embers. I am debating whether to crawl toward the jungle edge when I hear it. The sound is faint at first, a rhythmic thwup, thwup, thwup that I feel in my chest before I hear it with my ears. Helicopters, American Hueys, and the deeper angry growl of Cobra gunships. The NVA soldiers hear it too. Shouts erupt. Maybay, Maybay! Airplane. Men scramble for their weapons. The camp transforms from a sleepy village into a kicked anthill. Then the sky splits open. The Cobras arrive first. They unleash a torrent of Hydra rockets. Whoosh boom! The explosions are deafening. The ground shakes, throwing me upward. Trees shatter. Earth rains down. The camp is engulfed in flames. I see the young harmonica player running, then disappearing in a flash of orange fire. It is chaos. Absolute, unrestricted violence. The Hueys descend, their door gunners raining 50 caliber hate onto the tree line. I should be happy. This is the cavalry. This is salvation. But in an airstrike, there are no friends. A 20-pound rocket doesn't care if you are American or Vietnamese. I am in the kill box. I curl into a fetal position, covering my head with my good arm, screaming silently as the world ends around me. Shrapnel whizzes through the air like angry hornets, thudding into the trees and the bodies around me. I am the eye of the hurricane, waiting to be erased. Chapter 33. The blue light, the shelling stops as the transport slicks land. American infantry pours out into the smoke-filled clearing. I see the silhouettes of helmets, the distinctive shape of M16 rifles. They are moving methodically, double-tapping bodies, clearing the perimeter. I have to signal them. If I startle them, they will shoot me. To them, I look like a mud-caked creature, or worse, a VC survivor playing dead. I try to stand up. My legs fail me. The snake venom has left me paralyzed on my left side. I drag myself up against a shattered tree stump. I see a squad moving toward me. 3 men. Point man has a shotgun. Movement, 12 o'clock, he screams. The shotguns raise, the black eyes of the barrels stare at me. "Don't shoot," I croak. My voice is a whisper, lost in the roar of the rotors. They can't hear me. Fingers tighten on triggers. I remember the flashlight I carried through hell, the flashlight that saved me from the tracker. I fumble for it with my right hand. I bring it up. I don't shine it at them. That would draw fire. I shine it on my own face. I light up my blue eyes, my pale, mud-streaked American face. "Blue," I scream, with the last ounce of air in my lungs. "Blue, I'm American, tunnel rat." The point man hesitates. "Hold fire!" The sergeant yells. "Hold fire! It's a GI!" They rush forward. Strong hands grab me. "Jesus Christ," one of them says, looking at my arm, "at the leeches, at the rot. He looks like he crawled out of a grave." "I did," I whisper. They drag me toward the bird. The wash of the rotors feels like a hurricane. They throw me onto the metal floor of the chopper. As we lift off, I look down at the burning jungle. The green hell is receding. I close my eyes. I expect to feel joy, but I feel nothing, just a cold, hollow emptiness. I left my soul in the hole. Chapter 34, The White Sheets. I wake up in a world of blinding white. White ceiling, white walls, white sheets. The smell is chemical. Bleach, iodine, alcohol. It is so clean it hurts my nose. I panic. Where is the mud? Where is the smell of wet clay? I try to sit up. Straps hold me down. "Easy, soldier, easy." A nurse appears. She is an angel in white. Her hands are soft. "You're safe," she says. "You're at the 3rd Field Hospital in Saigon." I look down at my body. I am clean, scrubbed raw. The leeches are gone. The dirt is gone. Then I look at my left shoulder. The sheet is flat where my arm should be. It stops just below the shoulder. A thick bandage covers the stump. The venom, the gangrene, they took it. I stare at the empty space. I try to wiggle my fingers. I can feel them. I can feel my left thumb twitching. I can feel the itch on my palm. "Phantom limb," the nurse says softly. "It's normal. Your brain hasn't accepted it yet." I don't cry. I don't scream. I just stare at the white ceiling. It's a fair trade, I think. An arm for a life. The tunnel took its toll. It took a piece of meat as payment for letting me leave. "You're going home, Elias," the nurse smiles. "The war is over for you." Home. I think of West Virginia, the coal mines, the snow. But as I close my eyes, I am not in West Virginia. I am back in the siphon, swimming in the black water. The nurse is wrong. The war isn't over. The war has just moved locations. It has moved from the jungle to the space between my ears. Chapter 35. The Eternal Rat, West Virginia, 1998. I am an old man now. The stump of my arm aches when it rains, and it rains a lot here. People in town call me the Mole. They think it's a cute nickname because I used to be a miner. They don't know the truth. They don't know why I never go into the supermarket. Too many aisles, too many choices. They don't know why I don't go to church. Too many people, the ceiling is too high. I live alone in a small house at the end of a dirt road. But I don't sleep in the bedroom. The bedroom has windows. Windows are eyes. Windows let the sniper see you. I sleep in the basement. I spent 5 years renovating it. I reinforced the walls with concrete. I installed a steel door with 3 deadbolts. It is small, cramped, just the way I like it. I keep the lights on 24 hours a day. 3 industrial floodlights aimed at every corner. There are no shadows in my world. If a light bulb flickers, I change it instantly. I have a box of 100 spare bulbs next to my cot. I sit in my chair, listening to the radio. Not music, just static. White noise to drown out the silence, because in the silence I can still hear them. I can hear the scratching in the walls. I can hear the tracker's bare feet slapping on the clay. I can hear Sergeant Baker whispering, "Turn off the light." Sometimes my grandson visits. He asks about the war. He asks about my arm. "Did a tiger bite it off, Grandpa?" he asks wide-eyed. "No," I say, patting his head. "The earth ate it." He laughs. He thinks I am joking. I smile, a tight, thin smile. I send him home before dark. I lock the steel door. I check the perimeter of my basement. I check the ventilation shaft I installed. I sit on my cot with my 45 pistol on my lap. It is clean, oiled, and loaded. I am not Elias Thorne anymore. I am not a coal miner. I am a tunnel rat. And I am still waiting for the tunnel to end.